Chohalol, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ruach Chodash. Let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. To the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. Amazon buys Roomba company will now map inside of your house. Mega corporation Amazon has expanded its empire of data capturing devices by spending $1.7 billion purchasing maker of vacuuming robots and former maker of Warzone robots, iRobot, which makes Roombas. In addition to tidying up, Roombas are also great at mapping the interior of your home and creating marketable data for its parent company. This and its recent acquisition of One Medical have made it harder and harder to escape Amazon's panopticon, which means a circular prison with cells arranged around a central well from which prisoners could at all times be observed. Elder Apostle Tahar of Great Millstone once said, all roads lead to the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, the charagma, outlined in Revelation chapter 13, verse 16 on down. And further entrench Jeff Bezos. All right, so Jeff Bezos is just a puppet to be used by the wicked elite. By, if you would, the so-called elite of Esau Edom, which is Esau Edom being the biblical name of the so-called white man. Jeff Bezos is like an insect compared to his puppet masters. As an escapable omni corporation, omni meaning universal, so universal corporation, that's just another way of saying one world. And we know government to govern your mind, right? To govern your mental status, to control, however you want to define it, it all leads to the same thing, right? A one world government where everyone is chipped up. That's what Esau Edom wants. But they're not going to get that because what Esau Edom wants isn't biblical prophecy. We know that Yahushua HaMashiach, our deliverer, is coming back with the blueprint given to him by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, our Heavenly Father, and he's going to execute that, and it's outlined in the scriptures. So continue on, with its hands in every part of your daily life. The iRobot acquisition also comes a year after Amazon revealed the Astro, a little Alexa on wheels that spies on you. Leaked documents acquired by Motherboard revealed that one of the goals of Astro was to create a robot that intelligently plotted out the interior of a user's home, even creating heat maps of highly trafficked areas. The Astro has not been well received, but people love their robot vacuums, which often do the same thing. And notice that the company is called iRobot. Remember that movie, that film with William Smith? I mean, come on. Do you really think these companies just name their companies by accident? No. So continuing on, the news also comes weeks after the corporate giant purchased the healthcare company One Medical for $3.9 billion. These recent acquisitions give Amazon access to medical records, maps of customer homes, voice samples through Alexa, home network activity through its Eero brand of mesh routers, videos of neighborhoods and random passerby through Ring cameras, and a wealth of consumer data through its website. Then consider that a giant portion of the internet runs on Amazon Web Services, that 1 out of every 153 Americans is an Amazon worker, that it owns a large and popular grocery store chain, just subsumed Grubhub into its orbit, so on and so forth. So we know that, money can be printed, it's fiat currency. So when you see these numbers, don't be shocked. Oh, that's nothing. That's pennies when you can print shit. When you own land and actual gold and silver and jewels and whatnot. It's all about control. It's all just being the physical infrastructure. The puzzle pieces are all being moved into their proper places, and the image will be revealed. And that image being the mark of the beast, man. Like the beast system. Like Esau Edom's gonna come out with this bullshit, but we're not gonna be shocked because we already knew this was gonna happen before it's gonna happen. Not to mention, on top of that, we know that our deliverer, Yahushua HaMashiach, is making his triumphant return, and he's going to put an end to that beast system. Who is that with dyed garments that cometh from Basra? Super roughly paraphrasing. But the answer would be Yahushua HaMashiach, because he's going to destroy Esau Edom's rulership and finally put Esau Edom where they belong, in slavery and at the bottom, and ultimately destroy them. So let's get the scripts. Oh wait, hold on. Before we get the scripts, we gotta cross-reference that article. So Amazon bought iRobot to see inside your home. So this is what's popping right now in technology news. It's making waves. When I spoke to iRobot's Colin Angle earlier this summer, he said iRobot OS. OS meaning the operating system. The latest software operating system for its robot vacuums and mops would provide its household bots with a deeper understanding of your home and your habits. This takes on a whole new meaning with the news today that Amazon has bought iRobot for $1.7 billion. So the articles are all here. You don't even need these articles. You could just look them up on whatever search engine, or you could just type in Amazon if you just want to type in and go to the news section. So now let's get the scripts. So this is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. These are the devices, or the inward thoughts, if you would, of Esau Edom, which is the biblical name of the so-called white man. One trait we know that Yahweh Shemashai has is that he knows everything at all times. So Esau Edom wants to emulate that, but of course they can't. But they're so prideful, they're going to still try. So, I was going to go back to articles, but I removed them. But you saw the little robot things. That's just another way to know what's going. And then now they're mapping your heat signatures. I mean, this is just public information. So, and we already know that Esau Edom, like the hidden technology they have is way more advanced than what we just read. You know what I mean? They have shit that, like, y'all already know, you know what I'm saying? But the fact that this is made public like this really shows that the devil knows that he has a short time. But because of all this bread and circus going around, like, who's really reading these articles, you know what I mean? So continuing on, I will be like the Most High. So, I mean, it don't get more prideful than that, man. We know that heaven is Yahweh Bashim Yoshai's throne and earth is his footstool. If something's your footstool, like, especially the inhabitants. And then we know Esau Edom is the basis of man. If you won't even call him man, he's more likened unto a beast. So you have a little cockroach thinking he could be like the Most High. Okay, so we're going to jump down to 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan, now Satan, the false accuser. And we know that the false accuser in the physical form is Esau Edom. Because Esau Edom is constantly throwing monkey wrenches in Yasharallah's way, Israel's way, the nation of Israel. And it's just false. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like you set someone up for failure, and then when they fail, you say, "See, you failed." It's like, motherfucker, what? But that's how Edomites roll, man. And anyone else that follows that Edomite way of thinking and lifestyle, that beast system way. So continuing on in 2 Corinthians 2 and 11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us. And y'all already know what an advantage is, right? A one up on someone, if you would. For we are not ignorant of his devices. All right, now we're going to look up the word ignorant and devices in the blue letter, but I already copied and pasted it for y'all's viewing pleasure. Bashim Yahushai Hamashiach. So we have, for ignorant, we have agnaeo. All right, to be ignorant, not to know, not to understand, unknown. To okay, so that's something else. So we are not ignorant. Why are we not ignorant? Because we have the spirit of the Ruach Chodesh. Given, Yahushua HaMashiach is supping with us. So we're able to understand the scriptures, and we're able to know what's happening and align, and whatever is happening in the carnal physical world, we're able to align it up with biblical prophecy. So if anything happens, it's not like we're scared or we don't know what's happening. It's like, if anything happens, we know that it's just biblical prophecy being fulfilled. All right, now let's get devices from 2 Corinthians 2 and 11, which is na'ema, which means a mental perception, an evil purpose, that which thinks. The mind thoughts are purpose. All right, so boogieing back over to Isaiah 14 and 14, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. That is Esau Edom's device. That their generations will continue on forever and ever. That they're just going to continue, that, in other words, that their rulership will go on forever. But what does Ecclesiasticus or Sirach say in Ecclesiasticus 5 and 15? Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small. So we're not supposed to be, we're not supposed to not understand. We're not supposed to have what's going on in the world be unknown to us. There's no such thing as a UFO anymore. It's all IFOs. It's all identified. Or I should say, things aren't unknown to us, they're known. When you looked up in the sky, it used to be a UFO, but it's an IFO. You know that it's just, an Ak or Akyam, in angelic bodies doing what they're doing, doing their thing. But jumping back to this, the point of this video, we're not supposed to be ignorant. We're commanded not to be ignorant. Because what happens if we're ignorant? Satan's going to get it. The false accuser is going to get an advantage over us. But guess what? We're not ignorant of his devices. So we see that he's, through these front companies like Amazon and what have you, they're constantly making power moves. Because as Elder Apostle Tahar of Great Millstone once said, all roads lead to the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, the charagma, outlined in Revelation chapter 13, verse 16 on down. So with that, I hope you all were edified. Shalom.